Hello and welcome. My name is Alan. Not much of a video today, just I guess it's kind of a reiteration, but um I speak about things that interest me and things I think need to be brought to attention. They usually deal with the treatment of people, the ills of society, and then, like I said, anything I enjoy: gaming, sports, history, sometimes just education in general. We could all do with a little more kindness to one another, but unfortunately, there are those who just don't care, who think their lives are so much more important for some reason. I have no clue why. You're not. You're not that important. But, yeah. Um, you're no more important than anyone else. You know, Donald Trump is no more important than John T. Smith, guy who goes out and works in his garden to provide fresh vegetables, and then goes after he's already gone to work and worked for 8 hours a day, which he does 6 days a week. And yet, people worship Trump like he's more important. Bernie Sanders, someone who I look up to a lot. I try not to have heroes, but for the most part, he seems to be on the right side of history with what he does. He's no better than Frank May. Just tossing last names out there, because surely there's somebody named John T. Smith, somebody named Frank May, who goes to work every day and then comes home, eats, showers, and goes out to a second job. And these are hypotheticals that aren't really connected to any one person, but they are out there, they are real, these are what people are going through. It's why on my series of videos, when I talk about African Americans, Arab Americans, I'm going to do other hyphenated Americans, I say notable names. I try not to say famous. I try to say notable. Because usually there's specific things or reasons they are of note. Not being better than anyone. Anything like that. They're a person of note. In the end, though, they're no better than the man who works the land after he works his own job, the woman who goes out and works an 8-10 hour job and still comes home to do, with what hours left, being a mother. I just always despise, not always, but I just have this dislike of idols, of people you fashion yourself after. You know, I've got a lot, even though it doesn't feel like it sometimes. Over my lifetime, I've managed to collect shelves and shelves, books and tapes and collectibles, as you can see in the background here. And then in the next room, I've got bookshelves of books and books. I've got games all over the place. So you can see in the corner here where, yeah, my Batman posters fell over, but yeah. Books, games and games. It's just comes from years of collectibles. But even with that, I've still got things I struggle with. I have issues. If you can see in the background, if you look on the bookshelves at the end, I've got bottles or 1 gallon jugs of pee because I don't have a working toilet. It's life. Not everybody has the same things everybody else does. That does not make them less or more. They're just somebody else. Not to mention the different traditions and ideations of who we are. Some of us, it's religious ideation. Some of us, it's ethnic or nationalistic traditions from family, from other countries that you migrated from, your family migrated from. Or it's just an appreciation of other cultures. Yeah. Just, there should be a better treatment of people. And I can't, for the life of me, understand why it don't happen. These deportations, these illegal deportations, constitutionally illegal deportations, Trump and his regime are doing, and they are a regime, they're not an administration. They've already indicated they want to deport people born, raised. Not that they haven't done that already, just because some people were brown skinned and maybe had some tattoos, and so they could, scapegoat and say, these were gang members. No. Still doesn't give you a fucking right to do that kind of thing. Still doesn't give you a fucking right. Our founding fathers would have been appalled at what is happening. They fought for a reason. To give us liberty, freedom from a king, from a dictator. And yet, this is what Donald Trump's trying to be, and his cronies. And so we're just here treating people like shit. For what? For what? Those that would sacrifice freedom in an attempt to gain a bit of safety deserve another. This is something said by Benjamin Franklin. And that's what the fuck is going on. It was happening during 9/11 and it's happening now. It's disgusting. People need to be treated better. There should be no homeless. There should be no one looking to better themselves by going to college, but having to accrue debt that will bury them. Or going to a hospital just to try to better their lives, but assuming automatic debt. That should never happen if we are supposedly the greatest nation in the world. That shit should never happen. Ever! It just annoys me. Yeah. I just thought I'd speak for a minute on what should be the ethical treatment of people, instead of the monstrosities that are continually being done. And religion too. Let me add an addendum to that. Doing things supposedly because it's in our religious text is not a fucking excuse. It isn't. You follow your religious text. Your job is not to force others to follow your religious text. If you're going to do that, take your religious text and shove them up your ass. Because, no, I have no interest in following your religious text just because you want me to follow your religious text, because you follow it. That is not your job. People can follow what religions they want to, but when you force your ideation upon another, fuck you. Fuck you. Yeah. Just so tired of it. But we'll go ahead and end this episode here. As always, educate thyself. Think, read, study, learn. Someone tells you something you have trouble believing. Ask them to cite their sources. I'll see you all in the next one. Until then, later.